good news to impart. Let's talk about some bad news and some Sunday scaries. And let's start with Nick Westbrook-Akine's teammate, Derrick Henry. I didn't have it on the cards that Nick Westbrook-Akine was going to double Derrick Henry's yardage and get 2 touchdowns to Henry's none. Some concerns about Derrick Henry, I think, where, look, it's one game. He had 19 carries, just didn't have any running lanes against a really good Denver defense. But against the Chiefs, he only played 30 of 51 offensive snaps. He hasn't been practicing. He showed up a week and a half ago on the practice report. And look, all in all, fantastic season. And this game against Denver was a blip. He'd gone 100 plus the 5 games before that and had racked up a ton of touchdowns in that time as well. But any concerns about Derrick Henry?
No, they sold out to stop the run in this one. They play, as we talked about, they play the Packers.
Well, this is the one. Because he can, that's a 200-yard spot for the king.
If somebody's freaking out about Derrick Henry making an offer, buy low. Yeah, I think I have no concerns about Derrick Henry. If he's going to get that many touches in a game, many more times than not, he's going to produce big fantasy points. Again, Denver just sold out to stop him and said, we'll take our chances with Nick Westbrook-Akine beating us. And
Can we throw Derrick Henry some more passes? Because we thought that might be a thing
That's
coming
the other
in the
problem is he just hasn't been a big part of the
He got
passing
3
game.
targets against the Broncos, 2 catches for 14 yards. But against Kansas City, he wasn't even on the field on third down, which feels like, I don't know, maybe a mistake.
They like Dontrell Hilliard there. It's a way to get him on the field. But certainly, they have with Tannehill under center, they have more options, which they just didn't have with Malik Willis.
You know what? If I've got Derrick Henry, I don't care about getting Dontrell Hilliard on the field. Dontrell Hilliard, you want to run for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns every game against the Texans, then you can get on the field. Let's talk about another big name who underperformed, Alvin Kamara, who's had 8.4 points per game over the past 2 weeks. The team just looked dreadful against Pittsburgh, and it's kind of turning into a lost season for the Saints, and Kamara's stock's going down a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I don't know what you can do about it. I think you got to keep rolling him out there. But certainly, if you could get RB1 value for him, I might think about it. Here's their upcoming schedule: Rams, Niners, Bucks, bye.
So
3 good. You don't. I know James Conner just ran all over the Rams, but you don't.
Still, Aaron Donald's still there.
Yep.
Here's my question to you: would you trade Alvin Kamara for Jonathan Taylor right now? Because I think I would.
Yes.
Yep. Whereas a week, 2 days ago, it wasn't even a discussion, so it changes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Another guy that you're not going to be able to trade for Jonathan Taylor.
But there's a concern here. But if you don't trade him, I think you still have to, roll him out there, right? I think they'll figure out ways to hopefully involve him more in the passing game. We'll see if there's any sort of quarterback switch. They got to do something.
Can we get a quarterback switch? I want to see Jameis out there.
Yeah.
I want the full Jameis experience again, if only for Cris Olave throwing it deep. All right, DeAndre Swift, who came into the season as a borderline first-round pick, looked like he was going to deliver on that at the start of the year, now just completely on the periphery in Detroit. This is Jamal Williams' backfield.
It is. DeAndre Swift hasn't had more than 50 total yards in a game since week 2. He hasn't more than 10 touches in a game since week 1. He hasn't had double-digit touches in a game since week 1, Jay.
Yeah,
and it's shocking. Since he's returned, he's clearly not 100% healthy, but in the 3 games since returning, he's had 22 total touches in those 3 games. So he's averaging, under 8 touches a game. He's averaging 10.1 fantasy points per game. He bails you out a little bit with the touchdowns. He scored, I believe, in 2 of the last 3, but, I don't know.
There's upside there the rest of the way.
Monkey meme.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's an animated, not animated. It's like
Explain
a stuffed animal.
Matthew.
It's a stuffed animal, a monkey, and he's just he's doing this.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a GIF.
Yeah, it's a great impression of it too. Yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better than your
You know
Arnold
what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I do know.
Okay, then it is a great impression.
I have no idea what you're doing with your Go Bolts Go or whatever the Schwarzenegger thing is, but yeah, that kind of gives an impression of what you're doing. All right, we got to move on. We have to move on.
Right?
The only way out of that is by talking about David Montgomery. I feel like we're talking about the Bears.
Research confirms that's close. Screw you.
Yeah. I feel like we talk about the Bears more than any other team on this show, and I'm okay with it, even though they're 3-7 and in the cellar of the NFC North now. But they are extremely fantasy relevant, and also there's just decisions that need to be made about Bears every week. And the main one is who you're going to play between Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, both, none, or one or the other. And Until yesterday, I would have thought definitely you're just starting both. David Montgomery, though, is trending in the wrong direction. He only gets 9 carries for 37 yards against Detroit, gets out-carried by Khalil Herbert.
He's had one game over the last 4. One game with more than 15 touches, right?
Not getting the receiving work either.
No, he's had back-to-back games with under 45 yards from scrimmage. He's had one game with multiple receptions since week 6. One game, right. So your point is he's in a 50-50 timeshare with another running back. He's not getting any passing game usage. And by the way, the best runner on the team is their quarterback. Yes. That's part of the other problem, too, is when Justin Fields is running for 60 yards, you don't need Montgomery as much. When you run as effectively as you can with Justin Fields, you don't need Montgomery's. So Montgomery, whose biggest fantasy appeal to me was always volume-based, like, hey, he just gets a ton of work, right? You know, you think about in his first 4 full games this year, he had 16 or more touches in every single game. So the fact that he's not getting volume, you start going like, not good. Anyway, we'll see the injury to Khalil Herbert, because if he is out, you love Montgomery this week at Atlanta. But certainly cause for concern here. Like, I don't think it's a fluke. It's a 3-headed running back committee because one of their guys is Justin Fields. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.